Welcome to Cheshire Border Guide's DofE training sessions. This training session is about the Trangia, which is a cooking set that we have here. What I want to do is have a look at what it is, how it puts together and how we actually use it safely. To get into it, we take off the little strap here and put it to one side. Whatever you do, don't lose it. It's very difficult to put together if you don't have it. This is a lid, it's also a frying pan, put that to one side. We also have a little handle here. Digging further into it, we have a little kettle. We have one pan here, and then we have a second pan just here. That leaves us with two very strange bits of metalwork here. This one's got holes in it, which means that this one goes on the bottom. This is for sucking in air so it burns efficiently, and this goes on top. Now, there are two little slots here that you might not be able to see, but we try and put them together and see what works. You can get them aligned, which I have done eventually. Then if you go like that, it's fine. By the way, make sure that when you're actually starting this, you want to have somewhere fairly level, so that obviously it's not rocking about. Traditionally, these stoves were meant to burn solid fuel. So if we have a look in the kettle here, there's a little pot that was used to go in the bottom for methylated spirits to burn the bottom there. Most of our Trangias we found now are use gas instead, and we'll get to that in a shortly. Just out of interest, if you use this, make sure that you don't drop it. This is the methylated spirits that you do use. That's a liquid that you can get from places like pharmacies and things like that. But when you buy it like that, please don't keep it in there. Keep it in what's known as a fuel safe. It's much safer to use. We don't recommend you taking it around in this at all. But again, these are not safe on their own merit. When you've actually filled up your little cup there, make sure to put it 3 or 4 metres away, somewhere like that, well out of harm's way. Just out of interest on these is that if you do use them, you really have to wait until they've all burnt through before you can actually safely remove it. And if you do think the fire's gone out, please do not be tempted to put any more fuel in there, because again, it can cause major accidents. So let's put that to one side. The majority of what we use now comes with this. This is a gas burner, and how it fits in is that bit goes into the hole in the centre, and we slide that down to there. Then, hey presto, this comes out of the side. It will do when I can actually get it out. There we go. We press down the little burner onto the inside, and then we attach it to the bottle here. You would normally carry a much smaller version of this. But again, make sure that you've got plenty of fuel to go with you. That's nice. Now nice and tight there. So we have now the burner in the bottom. We have the canister here. We have these little prongs that we talked to you about before. If you put those down, when we actually get around to actually kind of burning the stove, what's happened is you'll put one of your pans in there, so the pan sits on there and it doesn't go straight onto the flame. Okay. When we're ready, and we're not ready yet, what we'll do is we'll make sure that we have our matches to hand. Ready? There. But again, before we actually get down to that bit, you need to prepare everything as far as possible, because what you don't want to do is to turn on the gas and leave it to cool in the bottom, because it might ignite and go further than you think. Never lean over it, whatever you do, whether it's on or off, because it's a bad thing to do, because all the synthetic clothes that we tend to wear will catch on fire very straightforward. If you don't think it's alight, you can always test it, but don't test it with your fingers. Always find something that's round about, like a piece of grass, to put over to see whether it's burning or not. So let's see what we can do about lighting it, shall we? So we turn on the gas like that. Now then, that is on. I can see it's on, and if I put it up like that, you probably can't see a flame whatsoever. I know it's warm out there, but I'm not going to be daft enough to put my hand over it, but what I will do is I shall put over a piece of grass. Now, if this works, that you'll see, hey presto, it burns, so you know it's on. Let me turn that off, because we have to be safe with these things. When you're cooking, what you need to do is use one of your pans, probably put it on like that. Now, as you may imagine, with it being metal, it'll get very hot very fast. So whatever you do when you actually take it off, don't forget to use these. Simply put it onto the side, lift it on, lift it off, straight away. When you're cooking anything on there, you want it to cook as fast as possible because you want to preserve all your fuel. So again, make sure that you use the lid to go on top. Yes, that is the right way around to use it because that's easy to take on and to take off. If you put it that way around, then watch how difficult it is to take on and off. See? It's not very difficult. And then of course, if you're then tempted, you're going to have to try and take it off with your hands and you're going to burn your hands. That's all for today on the Trangia. If you have any questions about this, or you think there ought to be some other kind of training snippets that you want to look at, then please feel free to email us on this address and let us know. Okay, thank you.